From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning here on Mornings LA with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. In today's recording, we go over how much you can get in this fourth stimulus check, the biggest single payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel, a monthly stimulus check. Then, in the second half of this video, we go over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. And then in the middle, we go over the big money that viewers continue to get. And across this video, we have no less than 5 major breaking news stories this morning from the Labor Department, from the White House, and also from the Parliamentarian. I have all the big details. It's a big morning. It's a big morning to LA. The toast is toasted. The butter is buttering. I'm here. You're here. Let's get to it on Mornings LALATE. Or somewhere. Or we'll get to it somewhere. Yeah, maybe we'll get to it here. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mornings LALATE. How you doing? How's the weather where you are and where you're watching from? Drop in the comments how the weather is and where you're tuning in from. In this big recording, we're going to be going over all the details, but the sun is coming in. Can you notice how much sun there is here in Southern California, here in Santa Monica, live on air with you this Thursday morning? I hope you're having a beautiful Thursday morning. I'm hitting all the wrong buttons in the programming room here today, but... all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. We're all good. In this recording, we're going to go over fourth stimulus, how much you're going to get in this fourth stimulus package, the big multiple stimulus checks. Then, in the second half of this video, we can go over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. And then in the middle, we're going to go over that big money that viewers continue to get it. More viewers got overnight. But first, subscribe. This is LA, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week, financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoon. I don't want you to miss a single video. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube 1-year record. Next stop, 1 million. So subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right now. Also like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. I'm next with you with Mornings Crypto, and then Noontime LALATE, and then we go into our afternoon shows later today. Let's jump right into that fourth stimulus check that starts with both a House bill and a Senate proposal. And let's compare and contrast them and understand how they may be modified based upon today's events. Fourth stimulus heats up with a House bill that provides a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. That is Jalapal's bill. Let's look at that starting right now. Jalapal's bill provides a monthly stimulus check for pandemic plus 1 year. That means that you would get a stimulus check every month for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal, on the other hand, is a stimulus check from July to December. Let's compare the monthly payouts. The House bill provides $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The Senate amount is unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Wow, yes, $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000 a person. Or $14 a month over 6 months, $8,400 a person. If you're in the live chat just after 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate. Tell me where you're tuning in from. But first, let's look back at something with Jalapal's bill that may get modified because of the macroeconomics at issue. What's at issue is the pandemic plus 1 year that Jalapal provides. Well, some insiders believe that the pandemic may be over for purposes of legislation by the time Jalapal's bill goes to a vote. If that's the case, then you would get under Jalapal's bill 12 months of stimulus checks at $13,000 compared to this in 6 months. Wow. I think you now have an opinion. So jump in the live chat right now and vote. Senate versus House, Senate versus House. Tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is as well. All right, let's go over all the other details about this fourth stimulus check. First, who gets it? You get it. So if you make less than $75,000, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Just double it. Household 4 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. Congratulations. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. Next, forced stimulus checks would not come out in waves because of a monthly stimulus check. They can't do waves. Forced stimulus checks would not be taxable because they're not income. And forced stimulus checks would pay the same amount to everyone. Adult dependents, minor dependents, and everyone else. Wonderful news. Forced stimulus may or may not be taken out for child support. We don't know those details just yet, but we do know that forced stimulus vote would be by July 4th. Representatives from the legislatures make the representation. I don't. They are the legislators, not me. And they represent the vote would be in the month of July, for the month of July. That means you would get a stimulus check for the month of July, in the month of July. In the month of August, for the month of August. And that's your forced stimulus check update of 2021 to start. But guess what? I got big breaking news across Wall Street, America, and the Labor Department coming out in just a second. But first, here's a preview of the second half of this video. The second half of this video goes over fifth stimulus that will raise your benefits up a lifetime because of a benchmark that may be the highest of a generation. Wow. And we're going to see breaking news that impacts this number as well. We got a lot of money. We got a lot of news in this morning's broadcast, so stay to the very end. But first, let's turn to that big moolah, as Sir Loin would say. Folks, you are killing it. We don't go less than an hour before another viewer gets money for rent, utilities, or mortgage. If you have been one of the success stories, drop in the live chat what you got. If you're watching it taped later in the day, drop in the comments. You're inspiring others and you're inspiring me. Also grab a pen and paper because I'm going to get viewers more money right now, and stay to the very end because I got a lot of money across this video. All right, we're going to start with $350 billion for you. No, it's not all for you. It's to share. It's to share. 349 for you and $1 billion for me. No, it's to share. It's coming from the federal government. It's landing in your city, counties, and states this week and also next week. What is this for? It's for rent. It's for utilities. It's for homeowners assistance like mortgage and homeowners utilities. It's wonderful. It's about $5,000 for rent. Yeah, it's about 4 to 6 months of rent. So how do you get it? Get that pen and paper ready. I'm going to go over the locations you're going to reach out to. They all have different eligibility. So if you get a no at one stop, don't worry, go to the next stop. They have different eligibility and different pots of money. All right, you ready? Got that pen and paper ready? Here we go. You're going to reach out to City Hall, City Housing Authority, County Hall, County Housing Authority, State Hall, State Housing Authority. The words you're going to use is rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You can also say the Biden Economic Recovery Act. You do not say stimulus. You also don't say fillet of fish. They'd be like, fillet of fish? Sir, this is not McDonald's. You got to say the right words. Otherwise, they won't know what you're talking about. Congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this money for rent in the last few days. Now, the next pot of money, boy, Gail got it. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, her mom. You all have been killing it. Let's go over that money. And it's money for SNAP. We'll go over what SNAP is, how you get it, how much money it is, and where it's going to land. Wonderful news. And it starts with this. SNAP is money for food. It's administered by the Department of Agriculture. So call up Department of Agriculture to get onto SNAP. How much money is it? It's a lot. A family of four in Hawaii now gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders, one from Trump and one from Biden, that raised everyone's benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. We're killing it here. We're only, 9 minutes into this video, and we've gotten $5,000 for rent, 4 to 6 months, $15,000, $16,000 for SNAP. We're just getting started, and now I got some $5,000 for you that one viewer got. Congratulations to him. What is this? How do you get it? And where is it going to land? Let me go over the details. It is money coming back from your states. The federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment benefits due to computer error, not your computer, their computer, and then asking you to return the money, which of course you did. Well, the federal government has said, no, that was your money to keep. So the federal government has now ordered the states to return the money back to you. Oh boy, that is great. And one viewer got $5,000 out of it. When are you going to receive the money? Each state has different routing times, so reach out to your respective state. And finally, how do you receive the money? On the bank account you have on file. Which turns me to the next pot of money. And I want to thank COD, that's C-O-D. He jumped into Overnight's Crypto this morning. That's our new hit 15-hour show that runs 15 hours. And he jumped to the live chat and he said, tell viewers I got my money on direct deposit this morning. Another viewer got his 2 days ago, and another viewer got hers for $2,000. Let's go over what this is, how you get it, when you get it, and also how to track it. It is the money coming back from the federal government on the taxes you paid for that unemployment benefits. Wow. Here is an example. Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 in your total tax bill to IRS, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Well, congratulations, you are getting back a check of $4,000. Next, how are you getting it? If you have direct deposit set up on your 2020 tax return, like COD did, you're getting it on the direct deposit. But otherwise, you're getting it in the mail. So watch surgically, carefully through the mail for a laser-thin envelope that's easy to throw away of that refund check. Next, when are you getting it? In these first 2 weeks, generally of the month of June, the checks were sent out in May, so you would receive them in June. Finally, how to track it? Yes. Go to irs.gov and set up a username and password for free. Put in your social security number and do a tracker of a transcript search. 70% of the time, it generally works. It'll show your tax return you filed, the date that you paid the taxes on the tax return, and the refund coming back to you. Does it get better than that? It does, with more exciting details about your forced stimulus check update of 2021, which I'm going to go over right now. Approximately a week ago tomorrow, Leader Schumer came out with a breaking news that confirmed not one, but three of the stories I have been reporting to you for a while. And they are the following. One, Schumer has confirmed that the reconciliation process is already underway. Second, Schumer has confirmed that the reconciliation process will finish for stimulus by no later than July 4th. And step three, Schumer confirms that the reconciliation process will not be held up by any negotiations by the president. I'm going to stop for just a second and give you an update about that presidential meeting yesterday between the president and one Republican negotiator. While nothing was said on the record, a leading political news site today said there was no deal. So that's basically where we are, just as Schumer had said. All right, now let's go over all the breaking details that led up to Schumer's announcement. And it starts back with Jalapal. Jalapal got the ball rolling over a week ago when Jalapal wrote Schumer a letter saying, call the vote on recon. What are we waiting for? Now, it got even better than that, because there were 12 House Democrats who signed Jalapal's letter to Schumer, and those 12 Democrats are among those that had written the president a letter weeks earlier saying, we're going to put the multiple stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package of Jalapal's bill. Wow. Now that's incredible. Of course, Schumer did start to call the vote. Later in this video, I'll go over what calling the vote is and the breaking news about this whole process. Could it get better than that? It did. A week ago tomorrow, 7 House Democrats wrote the president himself a letter saying, we're going to work with you to put multiple stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Now, work with you is a euphemism just for them to say, we're going to write it, because the president doesn't write legislation. They do. But who are these people to write legislation about our forced stimulus checks? These are the people who are solely and exclusively on the committee that is tasked with a sole duty in the Congress to write stimulus checks on the House side. So the people who write stimulus checks wrote the president saying we're going to put it in there? Yes, they did, a week ago. And these are the same people who wrote the first stimulus checks, the second stimulus checks, the third stimulus checks, and are now going to write the fourth stimulus checks. Oh my goodness, that is wonderful news. I think Captain Obvious is walking outside, but you can't see him because it's so sunny suddenly. Does it get better? It does. This last Tuesday, the president did something wonderful. A little bit complicated, but wonderful, so I'm going to slow it down. The forced stimulus is paid by raising the corporate tax rate. So what did the president do on Friday? The president reached out to G7 countries' leaders around the globe and said, would you agree upon a higher global minimum corporate tax rate? What is a global minimum corporate tax rate? It means you won't move your business from the United States to, let's say, France, because it won't save you any money. Okay, pretty easy. And they said yes. Oh, okay, good. But it got better later in the day, when the president told insiders that after forced stimulus becomes law, he's going to go back to those G7 countries to have them sign into law that they're going to agree to the global minimum corporate tax rate. Oh my goodness. And then what? If they do that, then he said he's going to drop the U.S. corporate tax rate. Yes, he's going to drop the U.S. corporate tax rate closer back to where it is now. And for stimulus checks, does it get any better than that? It does. A week ago, approximately, the president said, I'm rejecting the House, the Republicans' counterproposal. Then 3 Democratic senators said we're rejecting the counterproposal. Call the vote, Leader Schumer. And hence, we started to call the vote. But boy, I got more details coming up in the second half of this video. Breaking news, which you're hearing for the first time today in this recording. There's a lot of breaking news today about forced stimulus. You're going to be hearing about the new jobless claims number that came in this morning, the new job creation number that came in this morning. These are huge when understanding is forced stimulus in jeopardy or not in jeopardy. And then you're going to hear about what the Senate parliamentarian did yesterday and didn't do. And all those incredible details are coming up in the second half of this video with this stimulus. But first, I got more great news. And it's the volunteers. The volunteers are viewers who are just like you, who are salt of the earth, who embody the Purple Power spirit. Viewers helping viewers. And they step forward to help you. And they're on the community page. Last year, when this channel was young, I singularly was able to get viewers $25 million in EIDL loans approved by singularly going through their applications and helping them get approved. Then in fall of last year, when second stimulus did not look like it was going to get done, I launched Purple, which is essentially what we're doing right here in the middle of the video, and got viewers $250,000. Well, now the volunteers are doing the same. They're stepping forward and helping you get rent, utility, mortgage assistance, internet, and homeowners utilities. They are salt of the earth, and they're on the community page. Open to the description to this video. In the description to this video, you'll see a link to the community page. It has an emoji of a house, and next to it is a link to the community page, news.lalate.com/community. In the description of this video, click the link. It sends you over to the web page of the community page. You'll see a picture of some kitty cats. They're not the volunteers. They're not the volunteers. Below the kitty cats, that's the volunteers. They're separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They'll help you get that money, and I will be back with you in 60 seconds with all the breaking details still forming about fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus. Stay with me. Great news is coming up after this commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LALATE. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing. I think that's espresso, or is that espresso-tini? An espresso-tini doesn't hurt anyone. Just get a little kick in the morning. How are you? It's Mornings LALATE. This is Mornings LALATE. I'm next with you with Mornings Crypto, and then noontime, all live this morning, and then this afternoon with afternoon show, afternoons and evenings, and then evenings crypto. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. The only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Hit that subscribe button. Next stop, 1 million. Also like this video and consider becoming a member. More about that membership in just a second, but let's cut right to fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall with a reconciliation process. It's a two-step process as well. And their modification to fifth stimulus will be adding in that SSI and SSDI reform. Let me go over how this works and what the breaking news is about this as well. First, they'll remove the asset limit. They'll raise your benefit limits, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the marriage penalty, and then remove the income exclusion. All right, let's go over what that means, who's going to get this, how it works, and the breaking news that impacts this number. First, They're going to raise your benefits up one big time under fifth stimulus. Who's you? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, or SSA or multiple beneficiaries, they'll raise your benefits up one big time. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. It will no longer be COLA. It won't be CPIE. It will be inflation. Inflation is expected to be its highest rate of a generation this December, which is wonderful news because it will raise your benefits up lifetime. Let's go over what's going on here. Between now and December, we're going to try to figure out what the inflation rate may be, but a lot of analysts are putting between 2 to 7%. Let's just choose 6% and show you how this works. First, they'll raise your benefits up in a fifth stimulus. Then they'll apply that benchmark in December. Let's say it's 6%. That'll raise you up 6%, not just for next year, lifetime. Because the way the benefits works is that once they raise you up, they never step you down. So if the inflation rate in the year after that is 0%, you're still at plus 6%. And the year after that, the inflation rate is 1%, then you're at plus 6 plus 1%. Wonderful, wonderful news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law. It says you can't keep more than $3,000 in your hand and stay on benefits. They're going to get rid of that just in time for you to put those stimulus checks in your hand. Then they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. It's going to go away. Now you'll be able to work if you want to work. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Horrible. And love is going to win. You will be able to marry your longtime love interest, not suffer from the marriage penalty, and not be prevented from getting married for fear of losing benefits. And there you go. That is fifth stimulus. Likely to impact your bank account by about October or November. That's what they represent. Then the letter in December for next January and the step up. Now, here's what you also need to know, is that fifth stimulus has a lot of other items in there besides just this. And in a 30-minute video that's currently at 21 minutes, I don't have time to go over all the other provisions that are in fifth stimulus. That's the value of membership. The link to membership is at the top of the channel, the pinned comment. Every day I deliver to viewers this channel through the community page of YouTube, which if you have set up for email delivery, send it to your email, a breakdown of what's in the fifth stimulus, the fourth stimulus, and the third stimulus, because it's your money and you need to know where it is and how you get it. For example, the fifth stimulus is called by the president the American Family Plan, but it actually has money for single people, hazard pay single people, single seniors, money for medicine, and more. There's a lot of money in the fourth stimulus I don't have time to go over, and a lot of money in fifth stimulus, third stimulus as well. If you don't have the ability to become a member, then at least subscribe, because in the month of July, it's going to be a very busy month where a lot of things are happening from third, fourth, and fifth stimulus all at the same time. All right, now let's go back to fourth stimulus and move more exciting details, breaking news this morning, and a little bit for you to understand about what calling the vote means. The breaking news this morning I'm going to go over. There's a lot of it, and I'll see if I can get it all in here. I'm going to try my best. First, the totality of the breaking news this morning is that there is no change for fourth stimulus and no change for fifth stimulus. The first items I want to go over were the new labor numbers that came out this morning, which signal no difference for fourth stimulus. Back a few months ago, if you're with me in February, I said that if numbers got very quickly improving in February and March, I would be worried about a vote in July, that the economy may be restored by the month of July. You may remember those recordings. I said that if we zoom up in recovery in February and March, I would be worried about July. We didn't. So what happened today? One of those numbers came in very fast. But now, because we are still just 30 days away, we're fine. What was that number? It was the number of job creations. Remember back in February, I talked to you that we have 8 million jobs missing, and I was worried that if we restored 1 million jobs a month, we would have the economy restored in 8 months coming in July. We didn't. We were very slow in February, March, and April. So what happened with May's numbers that just came in? 1 million jobs. No worry, because 8 million minus 1 million is 7 million going into next month. We're not fully restored. We're fine for fourth stimulus. Pretty easy? Yeah, pretty easy. The other number that came in is also not any impact on fourth stimulus, but important for you to know is that the new jobless number came in this morning, Thursday morning. You know what it is, Thursday morning, every Thursday. And it was the lowest number in the history of this channel. It was the lowest number since before the pandemic. If you remember back in 2020 when I was outside, I recorded and always said, before the pandemic started, we were at 200,000 jobless claims every Thursday morning. I said that about 1,000 times because we had shot up to 1 million jobless claims and 800,000. So guess what? We came in at our lowest number since that 200,000 number before the pandemic this morning. 400,000 new jobless claims, the lowest since that March 14th, 2020 number of 256. Wall Street is expecting a little bit better, but there you go. So we are really, really close. Again, no impact whatsoever on fourth stimulus or fifth stimulus. Then, finally, one of the most important things for me to go over is the following. I'm going to slow this down. It's the Senate parliamentarian. Here's what you need to know about the Senate parliamentarian. I'm going to slow this down. That if I was to put 100 legal analysts and 100 political analysts in a room, there are certain things that they would agree upon with the parliamentarian, and then the rest of it they would all disagree upon. So ultimately, some of the things I'm about to explain to you, there is agreement upon, and certain things that there is disagreement upon. There's also some really inaccurate, very politically slanted press reports out yesterday that are attributing certain statements to the parliamentarian which she didn't say. So let's go back to square one and start at the very beginning. If you were to ask all those people in a room, those 100 plus analysts in a room, how many reconciliations does a Congress have per session? They would likely agree they have one in the spring and they have one in the fall, because there's a Senate session in the spring and a Senate session in the fall. They would likely agree one in the spring and one in the fall. Pretty easy. Okay. The next thing is they would likely agree that you can save a reconciliation from a session of the Senate that you don't use for the next session. Why? Because Republicans have done this, Democrats have done this for many, 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 many years. The Trump administration did it, well, the Congress did it for the Trump administration coming into his first year into office, and Leader Schumer did it last year. Last fall, the Democrats had a reconciliation to use. They didn't use it, so they saved it, just like the Republicans had done before. And when we went into spring of this year, when they passed third stimulus, they used the saved recon from fall of 2020. Pretty easy. Yeah. So they still have a new one from the spring and a new one in the fall. Also pretty easy. Most people would agree upon that. Also, I think it's sort of obvious. We're doing a fourth stimulus now and a fifth stimulus in the fall. We only need 2 more recons. I don't know why we need like 55 recons. We only need 2. That is the part I don't understand. Why do we need so many darn recons saved? I mean, we have 2. Now, I know that next year the Biden administration is talking about 6 stimulus and 7 stimulus. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. And maybe that's why Chuck Schumer wants to keep on saving them up. Otherwise, I don't understand what's the whole effort of saving recons beyond a certain point. But here's where the legal analysts in the room and the political analysts would disagree. Chuck Schumer, earlier this year, reached out to the Senate parliamentarian and asked, can he do a redo? Can he do a redo of a previously used reconciliation? Namely, the one he used from last year to pass third stimulus this spring, he wanted to reuse that one. Reuse it so it hasn't been used up. And the Senate parliamentarian said in guidance, not a ruling, but guidance, yes, you can. And Schumer made that pitch with all the Democrats behind him. And the parliamentarian's statements were very clear, but it wasn't a ruling, it was guidance. Yesterday, the Senate parliamentarian came out with guidance, again, not a ruling, but guidance, suggesting Schumer cannot do a redo of that leftover recon from last year. If that was a ruling, which it isn't, but if it was a ruling, it would leave Schumer with one new one in the spring, one new one this fall. Am I worried about this? No, it has nothing to do with fourth stimulus. It has almost nothing to do with fifth stimulus. Schumer has enough recon saved up. It was not a ruling. Here's what you need to know, is that I really fully expect, because I've read the news articles, there's some very politically slanted news articles out there. They're trying to say the parliamentarian said this when she didn't say it, said that when she didn't say it, said it was a ruling when it wasn't a ruling, it was advisory. And so a lot of people are trying to take the story and run with it as sort of a partisan argument. So I'm not going anywhere near that. All I want you to know is Leader Schumer has a reconciliation for now for fourth stimulus. He has a reconciliation for fifth stimulus the fall. As to next year, he gets a new one next year. But if he wants to save 20 more up, I don't know. I'm not here for saving things. I'm not a hoarder. We are not hoarder central. This is not hoarder depot for recons. So with that, thank you for joining me on a big, did I go over the voting process? I didn't go over the voting process. So let me go over the voting process. So I want you to understand how the voting process is done to pass a reconciliation. It's a 9-step process. It's required by the Constitution. There's no way to cut it, no way to do it shorter. Let's go over the steps. The first steps are procedural. The second are substantive. Step 1, the House subcommittee votes on the procedural bill. Step 2, the House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 4, the President signs the procedural bill into law. At this point, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time to go back and get the tow hitch, the substantive bill. Step 5, the House subcommittee writes the substantive bill and votes on it. This is where the House subcommittee would write those multiple stimulus checks if they want to. They don't have to, but if they want to. Step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Step 7 and Step 8 are the 2-day vote-a-rama in the Senate. During that vote-a-rama, the senators can go back, and if the House members had put multiple stimulus checks in it, the senators can modify it. If the House members did not put stimulus checks in there, the House members can put them in there. And Step 9, the President signs the law. 9 steps required by the Constitution. That is what calling the vote is. Finally, it's important that an old familiar friend is back. Purple Power. You need to share these videos on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Reddit. Tag the politicians. Hashtag MSC. Hashtag Purple Power. Why? Because legislation has been passed and money has not been sent out. Bills have been written and money has not been sent out. And a lot of people have often promised things and have folded like lawn chairs. Yeah, we remember who. So ultimately, you always have to push, and together we will push as one. So hit that subscribe button. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. I'm next with you on Mornings Crypto, followed by Noontime LA. Stay with me, stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning, and stay with LA.